Hi everyone, you're getting a sneak peek of the end result here. But I just wanted to start this video by saying apologies. It's quite a long video this morning and it's quite in depth. I don't have time to edit it because I've got to go now and sort a few things out before I do my live this afternoon. So if you get bored, just skip through some of it because it is quite a long video. But I'm explaining a lot of application in depth. And I just haven't had time to edit it, so apologies for that, but I hope you enjoy the video. Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today. Now I am actually doing a live this afternoon, but I am going to put some makeup on this morning because I've really had a stressful couple of days. I won't go into detail, but just, I mean, we all get stressed, don't we? But just a lot of things just been really stressing me out. And as you know, I find putting makeup on, I'm just putting my magic cream on, really relaxing. It keeps me calm. And so I want to put some makeup on before I get going today, because I've got a lot to sort out before I do my live this afternoon. And you'll see last night I posted on Instagram that I did the Charlotte Darling look, and I followed Charlotte. And I don't know what it is, but when I actually follow Charlotte, I always feel that my makeup looks better than when I don't. And I just think it's the subtleties of what she's doing. And I just watch and I learn so much from that woman. And in terms of application. And anyway, so I thought today I would do this look and I would film it for you. I'm going to have to take it all off this afternoon, probably, when I do my live. But I bought, that woman is terrible. She basically got me to buy the Charlotte Darling palette, even though I know that I've got all the colours. But this is it, look, and it's so small and widdy that I just thought this is going to fit so nicely into my makeup bag if I'm going to the hospital and putting my makeup on there. It's just a lovely compact size. So even though I've got all the shades in Stars in Your Eyes, and just seeing her doing it just made me want to get it. So anyway, as I've got it, I'm also waiting for the Pillow Talk palette. So I'm hoping that this afternoon it will have arrived in time for me to do a live demonstration of it. But this morning I'm going to do what Charlotte did on the video. So I'll post a link to the video below, but I'm sure that you've all seen it. It's Charlotte doing the Charlotte Darling look and her signature look, and I'm going to do that now, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so after her magic cream, Charlotte used Flawless Filter, which I often use under her Airbrush Flawless Foundation because it gives it the glow back, you know, because it's quite a matte foundation. So I love the fact that she was showing this, and she used a foundation that was a little bit darker than her skin tone to kind of make her look a bit more warm, so it kind of inspired me, because normally what I do is if I'm using the Airbrush Flawless Foundation in the warm, because it's a little bit too warm for me, I normally put shade 3 Flawless Filter on me. But I thought, no, I'm going to put shade 5 last night, and it worked because she was talking about matching up her freckles. Now mine's more than freckles, it's a bit of hyperpigmentation. But I thought, okay, I'm going to do that. It just inspired me to try using 5 instead of 3. I never got shade 4 Flawless Filter, even though that was probably the most logical choice for me, because I got a sample when it first came out. She sent samples of shade 3, 4 and 5, I think it was. And the sample of shade 4 looked a bit grey. I just felt that it kind of washed me out, and it just didn't suit me at all. It was just too grey, and I just didn't like it. So I ended up buying 5 and then buying 3. And of course I could mix them. Now I had a little idea. I'm going to show you this. But I was thinking of ways that we're all being told to reuse packaging and recycle things. And I was thinking of ways that we could reuse our old used Charlotte Tilbury packaging. And I came up with a plan, and I'm going to show you this in a second. Let me just go and get it. Okay, so this is a used Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder Compact. And I didn't want to throw it out because at the moment I just had the superstition of not wanting to break a mirror. Normally I've got no problem chucking out old packaging. But I thought it's so pretty and I don't want to break the mirror. What can I use that for? And suddenly it came to me yesterday that if I'm out and about, instead of taking my Tom Ford foundation stick, what I could do is put some Flawless Filter and some Airbrush Flawless Foundation and mix them together and put them into this palette and then shut the lid, and I've got that then mixed, ready to go, and use it as a kind of little palette. Now hopefully it won't fall open and leak everywhere, but I don't think it will, because the two, I'm going to try it and I'm going to let you know how I get on. But I just think it's perfect that you can actually put your foundation, if you're out and about, you can just put a bit of your foundation and you can mix it with your Flawless Filter and you can use it for touch-ups. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to use it and I'm going to let you know how I get on. Did it fall open? Did it leak in my bag? And all of that, because we all have got empty packaging that is really pretty, and it's good to reuse packaging. Another thing I think she should start doing really is what Mac do, which is, you know, if you hand in a certain number of empty packaging from Charlotte Tilbury, she gives you a free lipstick or something. That'd be really good, I think, and it would encourage people to buy from her as well. I mean, it's always a good incentive to buy. So I'm going to now use Airbrush Flawless Foundation in shade 7.5 Warm, and I'm not going to mix it today with the lighter one because I have been looking a bit pale. I probably don't look it now on here, but I have been looking a bit pale, and I'm doing it exactly as Charlotte did it on the video, as far as I can remember. When I follow up, as I said, it just works even better. But I'm going to put this on. Now, she talked about using this as an eye primer, and I noticed how she was applying this under the eyes. So I'm using her Hollywood complexion brush, which is what she used on the video. And I watched her blending it and just followed her like a hawk, really. But what she did is when she got round to the eyes, she talked about priming the eyes with her foundation. Now, I have used this as a concealer, but what I noticed is that she got the end of here and she dipped it in the foundation from the back of her hand, and she started to use it like this. When I use it, I've been putting it on with my fingers, but she got right under. She did the funny mascara face and she got right under. And Bobbi Brown does this as well, is to get right under where that you get that dark bit right under the lash line. Obviously be careful because you're getting very close to the eyes, but it really does, look at that, have a brightening effect. And then she used it as an eye primer as well, and so she did it over her entire lid, all around the corner here, right up to the lash line and up to the brow bone. Can you see the difference that makes? So I'm just going to do that this side as well, obviously. And this brush makes it quite easy to get up there. Because often when you're putting concealer on, you go to there and you leave out that little dark bit that's just under the eye. And it makes such a difference when you fill it in. I'm gonna have another go at my cheek peaks in a minute. Now, someone yesterday asked on my live, and I didn't answer them, whether I ever used the colour corrector on my cheek peaks. Brilliant question, and yes, I do. I often, if I'm putting the colour corrector on, I don't always use it, but if I'm putting the colour corrector on, I take it down to my cheek peaks because it will cancel out that pigmentation that I've got that always looks like I haven't blended in blush. That's what I find irritating about it. It's not that I really mind having a bit of pigmentation, but it just always looks like I've put blusher on there and I haven't blended it properly. And also what I did when I was watching it. So I'm just sharing some of the things that I did differently yesterday because I was watching Charlotte, is I've got pigmentation just around the brow area. And I often forget to get that close to the brow bone, but it again makes a big difference. And they're just very small things, some of which she mentioned in her video, some of which, like this, she didn't mention, but I noticed her doing. And they made a world of difference to the end look. So I'll stick a little bit on my cheek peaks. And I will also use the colour corrector. Now, what I found is because I'd done this first, I didn't need to mix two colour correctors together. I just used shade 2 because there was no need, because if I hadn't put the foundation under my eyes first, then I would need to use both and mix them together. But because I've already brightened that area, I've kind of neutralised that area a bit. I found that I didn't need to use shade 3. I just used shade 2 and it worked. So let's get shade 2. So here is the medium colour corrector. And what she did is she dipped her brush into it. And she dabbed it in quite a bit. And then again, she took this all the way around and right underneath. And then I'm going to take this down until I reach my cheek peak. And I also like, when I'm doing colour correcting or anything like that, I like to take that up because that lifts the eye. Can you see it? Gives the illusion that the eye is more lifted. This one looks more downturned. And then I'll take this and dab it until it's down onto my cheek peak. So it ends up a little bit Kim Kardashian, but it's not because I'm doing that. It's because I want to take it down to that area that always looks a little bit problematic for me. And then I'll do the other side. I haven't done everything yet because I want to go back to the eye. Again, taking this right underneath the lash line. And here where I've got the shadow. And then take it up to lift the eye. And then down onto the cheek peak. Okay, now what I wanted to go back and make sure is that I'd got these little inner corners. Okay. And I also want to do a bit of that pigmentation there. Can you see I didn't need to mix 3 and 2 because of putting the base underneath? And then she went in with Magic Away. Now, the thing that intrigued me when she applied the Magic Away is that she was swiping it like this. And I thought, how is that working? Because I always dab it when I put the colour corrector underneath, because otherwise I find that it moves the colour corrector. But she was definitely swiping it. We'll see. I'm going to dab it on one and swipe it on the other. I can never get these lids off. Oh, do you find it hard to get the lids off Magic Away? Right, let me swipe it. You see, I just find it moves the colour corrector. I'll just try and swipe it lightly. I think I had a hair on the end of that. And again, I'll take that down and up. I can't help but dab and then blend it, or at least stipple it. Again, I'm stippling because I don't want to move the colour corrector. I can't help it. I can't make myself swipe it. And again, just down here, mainly concentrating on that shadow where I've got quite a big bag on that side, and it just throws shadow. And right underneath. And up. Stipple. And then what she did with the lighter one that she used under her eyes is she did this where she's got, I think they're called something like, I've forgotten the name, nasolabial lines or something. So she did this. So where she's got those lines and then the chin one, she did that. So I thought, okay, I always put the darker concealer on my matching thread veins, but I'm going to put the light one this time. And then she just dabbed that with the brush. And again, made a huge difference. Now, someone from Charlotte Tilbury did once advise me to do something similar, but it was before Magic Away was out, and it was using the magic eye wand and getting it into those lines to throw light. But I'd never done it before using Magic Away. So that, oh, I need to just blend these in as well. So that is everything done. And I just felt after watching her that I had far more of a flawless complexion. And I've got a hair somewhere. Right. And then I took my Airbrush Flawless Finish powder, which I will just get. Oh, it's here. And I did. She didn't show this, but I know that she does it. I used the lighter shade, shade 1, Fair, underneath to set my eyes. And by this time, if you've got hooded lids, the foundation will have creased on your eyelids. Doesn't matter how good the product is. It's just the way that my eyes are. They are so hooded that they're bound to crease. So I'm just making sure that there's no creases, and I'm taking shade 1 and setting all of that under my eyes and on my lids. So even though this was a tutorial about using her Charlotte Darling look, I actually picked up an awful lot of tips about her foundation application, which made a huge difference, I felt, to the finished effect. And I'm going to cover these bits as well with the light. So wherever I've put, and I didn't use the darker shade. I probably could have done on that thing, but so the center of my face, I'm just using the light, and I just want to make sure that I take that down onto the cheek peaks as well. And then I get shade 2, and I'm going to put that on the bits that I haven't powdered. So basically your contour areas, the periphery of your face, the outer corner of the forehead, and each side of your nose. And I did my top lip actually, because I've missed that out. You could do that with light. It's not going to make a massive difference. It's very subtle using 2 different powders, but definitely works when you do it under your eyes. Okay, so that is the foundation done. Okay, and then she started to use the Charlotte Darling palette, which I have here. Okay, I thought that was a door going, and I thought that it was my Charlotte Tilbury order, but it was somebody with a leaflet telling me on how I can get rid of all the wickedness in the world. Anyway, so let's get going. Lovely man though. I don't mind. I took the leaflet. If only we could just get rid of all the wickedness in the world by looking at a leaflet. Wouldn't that be lovely? Anyway, so next up is, where was I? Yes. So the Charlotte Darling palette. And here is the Charlotte Darling palette. Now, when she did a tutorial, there's only one thing that was a little bit confusing. Have a look at it and tell me what you think. But I think that they cut out a bit of the video where she's using a different shade in the socket. So you don't get to see what she puts in the socket, which is a little bit frustrating. So first of all, she applies these 2 shades here, which is shade 2 and 3. And then you see her putting something else in the socket. It doesn't look like she's continuing with these, but it doesn't say what. Now, I think it must be this shade, but it's confusing because it's definitely cut out what she used in her socket, but I'm sure she used a different shade. So I'm going to go do exactly what she did, and then I'm going to use this one in the socket because I do definitely think that they cut that out by mistake. So let me just get my blending brush. Excuse me for going off camera. So first she mixed shades 2 and 3 of the Charlotte Darling palette. Now, if you haven't got Charlotte Darling, but you've got stars in your eyes, you can work out how to do it using the stars in your eyes palette. And actually, you don't even need the Bella Sophia one, because the Bella Sophia one is just this first shadow here, and she doesn't use that at all in her tutorial, although I did use a bit to highlight under my brow. So she mixed shades 2 and 3 and she put that over the lid like so. And the other side. So it's a lovely warm look. Now, as I said, I definitely think she missed out, or they cut out her applying the 4th shade and putting that into the socket. Yeah, I'm pretty sure looking at this now, that was the shade she was putting in her socket. So I'm happy that that's the bit that was missed. Tell me what you think though when you look at the tutorial. It suddenly skips to her putting something in the socket, but it doesn't say what. Just put a bit more, build up the warmth. Okay, and then she takes her new Rock and Coal in Pillow Talk, which of course we don't have, and the Audrey pencil. So I just used the Audrey pencil, and I'm just going to get that and I'll be right back. Okay, now the only thing I don't like about the Audrey pencil is that you have to press, mind you, I have just, no, you don't have to press too hard. I think because I've just sharpened it. Oh, it says I've just had a notification saying that my parcel's coming shortly. How exciting. I think then the little tip is, if you're finding that your Audrey pencil is not, you're having to press quite hard, then sharpen it. Because that's definitely what I found. And then she does her feline flick, like so. But she also uses her new Rock and Coal, which of course I can't use. And then what she does is she takes this down. Now, it doesn't really work that well with me, but I'll try it. And I don't think really for my eye shape, it works with Charlotte's, but I'll just show you what it looks like. But I don't think it really works with my eye shape to extend that flick down here. And then what I do want is to try and lift this as much as I can. Now Charlotte, one of the things that I know that she does is she will sharpen her pencil between eyes, and I've seen her do that, which is probably why, because she gets better pigment. But I had wood shavings. I was just picking off the liner. So sorry, this is quite in depth because I could just do the look, but I'm trying to kind of go into depth about the little subtleties of what Charlotte was doing and how it kind of inspired me. And then I'll take a little bit underneath, because you should always join up what you've done above, unless you've got a particular eye shape. But I just don't find that it works for me. It looks odd if I don't, and most people, it looks odd. I've seen Sophia Tilbury not joining it up, and it works on her eyes, but it doesn't on mine. And then she gets in here, so almost in the waterline, and then takes this down. And then she gets in here, so almost in the waterline, and then takes this down. like so. Okay, and then she gets her smudge brush and she takes shades. I need to just check this, just 1 second. Okay, I've just checked. So she uses the 4th and 5th shades under the eye with a smudger brush. So she mixes them together and she takes that along and all the way across, like so. And it really makes a difference when you've taken that foundation right up to the lash line. It really makes a difference in terms of it applying as well. Okay, and then she takes her little liner brush and she takes this shade here, the second one, and she puts that one right in the corner here. Okay, she then uses her Legendary lashes and her, I don't know why she doesn't highlight under the brow. I'm going to just do it with my fingers because it's just annoying me. Possibly because of the shape of her eyes, she doesn't bother. But for me, I find that it works. I don't think this works for me at all. I might get rid of that in a minute. But anyway, so she then does Legendary brows with this, and she does Legendary lashes. Now, I'm just going to show you something else because Legendary lashes works beautifully, but I promised you that I would show you the Benefit brow product because it is so easy to do. So let me just show you that. I'll just get it and be right back. I just remembered that I've forgotten to put the contour wand on, but it's fine because she actually puts it on after the powder for some reason. She doesn't put it on before. So this is Benefit Gimme Brow, and it's the miniature, and it's so easy to put this on really quickly. The Legendary brows is good. It's got a small brush if you got very sparse hair because it picks up very fine hair. But if you just want to do your brows really, really quickly, this is so brilliant. They do an offer in Boots. You can get 3 for slightly cheaper, 3 miniature products. And I think at some point I did get a full-size version of this. But I think I'm going to stock up on the little ones because the little brush again makes it so easy and so quick. But as I said, if you've got sparse brows and little fine hairs that you want to pick up, then you're probably better using the Charlotte one because it's got very small brush that will pick up the fine hairs for you. But if your brows are like mine, they need filling in, but you've got a reasonable amount of brow hair, then I definitely recommend this. The only thing it can't do is fill a line at the end. Obviously, you need to pencil for that, but that looks fine. And I'll just do my mascara and I'll be right back. Okay, so the contour wand, I'm going to use the light to medium because this one's getting quite old now and looking a bit, and I want to use it up. But I often use the medium to dark, but the light one is lovely for the day. So I'm just going to dot this around and dot it here. And then I'm going to dot it here. Now, I saw Lisa Eldridge yesterday talking about contouring your face dependent on your face shape. and how not to get in the habit of just doing what everyone else does. And one of the things that I always want to do, and it's given me the confidence to do it now, is to do this, because I haven't got a very defined jaw, which makes my jaw look a little bit more, it accentuates my double chin. And I find if I do that, for me, then it works. And I also don't contour under my nose. And I don't like to do the contour at the top of my head, because my head is not actually that long. If you've got a high forehead, it shortens it. If you've got a long nose, it shortens it. But I haven't got a long nose and I haven't got a high forehead. But I have, and I do this to kind of give me a bit more of a pointy chin. So all those things are things that I do in terms of looking at my face shape. So have a look at your face shape, because that kind of, listening to Lisa Eldridge's tip really inspired me yesterday to follow what I've naturally done over the years, rather than what a tutorial says to do. So I'm concentrating more on the periphery of my face to slim my face. And then I'll take this down and I'll show you what I do with the chin thing in a minute. I'll leave that till last. Right, so I just blend this to a kind of point. Just makes my face look a little bit slimmer. But obviously I want to make sure it's thoroughly blended. Just gives the illusion of a pointier chin and therefore detracts from this. I think I just put more on with the brush then. Sometimes if you get a lot of contour on the brush, that's what happens. And then I'm just going to take this, make sure that it's joined up to that top area, like that. And then what I do, again, just slimming my nose out. What I do then is pinch my nose upwards. So I'm blending it upwards and not down. If you blend it down, that's gonna ruin the effect. It's just like you're giving your nose a pinch. That'll do. And now we're gonna get on to the lipstick. What's just arrived? The Pillow Talk palette. I can't wait, but I'm going to keep it there in the bag, ready for my live this afternoon. All right, so let's get on with this lipstick. Pillow Talk. I think that was something on the I just sharpened my lip liner, and I think there was some Colour Chameleon or something still on the sharpener. Then Everlasting Kiss, Superstar Lips. Notice that when she put this on, she gave it a really good swipe and really kept going back in to get plenty of pigment. So I'm going to do that. I love this lipstick. Really love it. And then she finished off by using Peachgasm and the Beauty Light Wand, which I will get and be right back. Okay, so first of all, Peachgasm. And I'm just going to blend that in with my fingers. And then Beauty Light Wand. This one needs a bit more squeezing up into the lid. Bear with me a minute. Now, she didn't do this, but I'm going to put a little dab in here because I actually think this particular Beauty Light Wand in the corner here looks the most natural because it doesn't look powdery. It just looks like your eyes, but brighter. And I'm going to put some here as well. Now, these are the little steps that she didn't do, but I'm going to do them anyway. And a little bit on the centre of my nose, just here. I haven't been liking the head one recently, so I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to make sure that, because this gives me a lift. And that is my look for at least this morning until I do the pillow talk look live this afternoon. So take care, have a lovely day, and I'll see you all soon. Mwah!